Alright guys, so today we're going to do a live pour of Ekopel 2K. I haven't done one of these since 2019, so hopefully I can showcase how to use the product and anything like that. As you know, you can order it on, you can order it right on Amazon, you can order it at Refinished Bath Solutions, but this is the best product to do a tub with, and I'm going to show you how to do it. So this tub here is brand new, has no no residue, no previous coating on it. So what comes in the Ekopel box is going to be the part A, the part B, the stirring stick, the roller. You're going to need some tape to tape the drain. For this one, I'm going to tape the drain. I'm going to throw a piece of tape around the edges, and we've got some paper on the floor, but usually you tape the front. I'll show you a little bit of that as well. We'll show you each one of the steps. Get your gloves, and then a while back we replaced the scooper boxes. It was kind of wasteful, so we built it right into the box. So all you have to do is flip the flap a couple of times, and you can just peel the perforated edge off. I like to put a piece of tape on there just to make it a little bit stronger. So showing you how to do it. But in this live video, we're going to show you step by step the entire process. We're going to leave the camera running in the YouTube live for 4 hours, possibly a little longer. It depends how it levels out here. But we're going to leave it rolling the entire time until we take the tape off of the drain. I know you guys feel a little bit left in the dark sometimes when it comes to the drain. I'm gonna make it a point to leave it on there and show you everything we do to keep that drain nice and clear. The other alternative is to remove the drain, but we're gonna show you how to do it with the drain left in there. So move this stuff out of the way here, and I'm gonna tape the. I'm gonna show you how to tape it now. So we went back and forth with that whole previous tape dam idea, and that process. I think at this point it's a little bit too confusing, and it doesn't exactly do much to help you in the long run. So we're not going to do the tape dam. I no longer use that process, and I no longer do that. So here's what we do. I tape up the scooper there. I set that to the side. So for the drain, you're going to want to put tape strips straight across the metal portion of the drain. You want to make sure you tuck them in if there's any high sides or edges, but you just run a few pieces. If you have 2-inch tape, it'll cover in 2. This is 1-inch tape, so it'll cover closer to 1. We also have a moderator that's watching the chat for this whole thing, so if anything pops up that's confusing and you want answered or anything, our operations manager is watching, so she'll come in and just read the question to me, and I'm happy to answer it. Anything that you guys have in this process, feel free to ask, write it in chat, and I'll answer it for you. So I like to put this tape double thick, and that just makes it definitely not allow any material outside underneath there. So double thick is what I do. You want to stick same thing, one piece around this overflow area here. Just one piece wide is really all you need. Alright. So then we got to trace it out with a razor knife. Want to get it as close as you can, but the overflow piece itself actually covers the hole, so it doesn't have to be perfect. Just pretty close, all you got to get. And then around the drain, same thing, just cut it nice and close. If you overlap a little bit, it's not a big deal. You'll see later when we work the drain exactly what we do in that scenario. Appreciate you guys all watching and stuff. If you can hit the thumbs up button for us, it It helps YouTube know that you guys like the content and it's informative. So smashing the thumbs up button, commenting, all of those things tell the other algorithm that we're doing a good job over here. So it helps us out greatly. Alright, it helps if you use a sharp razor blade, as this is just eating the tape up, but cut it once more just to get a nice neat line here. Pull out the excess. Alright, so cut it, peel it, get it all taped up. We have other videos about washing the tub and stuff. We like to use that Lysol power cleaner. Just pour it on there, scrub it out, and it'll be good. I'm gonna do another one in a customer's home in another couple of weeks, and we'll break down the whole washing process and stuff as well. If you guys like it live like this, I'll do another live one. If not, we'll edit it up. But this, I feel like this gives you a little bit more confidence when I do it live. Just, you know, anything that goes wrong can obviously happen in a live video, and we're not covering anything up. This is just the natural way the product works. So this tub, we've already cleaned it, we've already got it ready, and we're good to go. So start stopwatch. All right, so I'm just setting the timer just so I know where I am in the process. But some of the common things that we get complaints about, or customers wondering what's happening, there are a few main things. So the temperature in the room, you really need to keep somewhere between 70 and 75. If it's too cold, it will take a couple of days to dry, and if it's too hot, the material will run down the wall a little bit too quickly, and it will be kind of thin at the top. So you got to keep it between the temperature parameters. The highest I would suggest doing it at is 80, and the lowest I'd suggest doing it at is like 70. But essentially, just open the part B, pour it directly into the part A, and then we're going to stir it for a long time. We're going to stir it for 10 full minutes by hand. If you use a drill mixer, you're adding air bubbles into the material. If you add air bubbles into the material, it leaves bubbles in the surface later, and that's exactly how you'll cause yellowing. I just need my stir stick here. Alright, so the way that we want to do this, I don't know if you can see it here, but the material is all water on the top. It's all the part B. On the bottom, it's super thick. So what we're going to do is make sure that we get it perfectly combined. If you see, after the process is over, within a week, a month, a year, if you start seeing brown spots in epoxy, the only way that this material can get brown in it is if the part B oxidizes. The only way the part B can oxidize if it's not fully mixed into the part A. So any brown stains, I hate to say it and be so rude about it, but it's your fault. You did not mix the material properly, and unfortunately, there's nothing we can do to fix that besides attempt to scrub all of the part B oxidation off of the piece, or you can coat over it with some properly mixed material. But that's the only way that you get brown stains with this. It's so hard, it's so chemical resistant that it's not hair dyes or soaps, it's not any of that. It's literally failure to mix the product properly. Sometimes that can happen by accident, and maybe you just didn't re-stir after the wait period. Maybe you just stirred it like this, very lightly, and just said, oh, that's good enough. It's not something that you do all the time, so it's not something that you're gonna know the difference of. That's why we set the time limits and the way to do it. So if you do it by hand, it doesn't add a lot of air, and it properly mixes the product when you do it that amount of time. So first we're going to stir for 10 full minutes, and setting a timer is a good way to do that. People love to comment on me looking at an Apple Watch while I do it. Well, that's how I keep my time. So in this video, I'm gonna pour the tub, then I'm gonna come back every 15 minutes. I'm gonna scoop the material off the drain. The way I recommend doing the drain is to leave the material for 3 to 4 hours and then scoop the material off. But I'm gonna keep scooping it off every 15 minutes until it stops running, just so you can see how long it takes to stop running and what would happen if you scooped it and removed the tape. Because it's extremely rare, but customers have let the material run down the drain thinking that it's just going to set up. So obviously that's a pretty high plumbing bill, and not something that most people are really that interested in paying. So you got to leave that tape on there until the end. But if you don't, I'll show you what will happen. So right now we're about 5 minutes in, and you can see it's starting to combine. There is still a watery residue on the top that you can splash around a little bit. Pretty hard to see, but it does exist. So you got to make sure you mix it really well, and after we pour it, you'll see we're gonna go over it quickly with the heat gun. You can use a blow dryer instead. It's just gonna pop the last of any air pockets or material that gets stuck in the finish, which will allow that brown staining later on in the process. So we're just going to prevent it the best we can and get a nice smooth clean new tub. As you can see, no odor with Ekopel, no hazardous chemicals. This is 99.9% solids. The other issue with bathtub refinishing kits that are now popping up on Amazon and copycat products to Ekopel are starting to come to existence. Look at the SDS sheets on there. They have a chemical called nonylphenol in there, or a different variant of nonylphenol. Nonylphenol is produced from human waste. It's a hazardous chemical. It's banned in Europe. It will be banned in the US eventually, but if you want to inhale toxic waste that causes cancer, it's a cheap product that allows you to make a knockoff version of Ekopel, but it also leaves you using toxic chemicals. So in order to produce this at a lower cost, that's the way you would do it. And there's proprietary ingredients in Ekopel that allow it to flow and stuff, but nonylphenol does that work without without using the extra expense or learning how to make the chemicals properly. So be very careful what you get. You'll see if you look in the reviews, these other materials are 50% the thickness, and they're also full of poison. They're not allowed to be sold on Amazon Prime at this point because they have the toxins in there, and something to think about. So now this is pretty much completely mixed. If you were a professional at this point, you'd let the rest period begin, but because a lot of people that are watching this have never done Ekopel before, the best bet, because you can't judge how well you mixed it yourself, it's best just to go with that full 10 minutes. So we've got another couple minutes to go here. We'll just keep stirring it. And after that, there's a 5-minute rest period. During that period, I like to wipe out the tub one more time just to make sure there's no dust or contaminants stuck in the finish, stuck on the surface, anything like that. there any comments or anything?
Yes, Barbara agrees it's non-odorless.
Oh.
There's no odor.
Oh, right.
She had just done her tub recently.
Awesome. Yeah, it's the stuff's safe, guys. The only hazard to this is the hazard associated with it is for C. If a can was to fall in the ocean, it would be hazardous to marine life because it never dries unless it's chemically hardened. So fish could technically eat the part B, and that's why it's hazardous to marine life. So want to make sure that you don't crack open a can and pour it into the water. All right, where are we at here? All right, so we got another 30 seconds left on the timer here. Then we're gonna let it rest for 5 minutes. I'm gonna put my gloves on and wipe out the tub one more time, and then from there I'm just gonna go ahead and pour the material. How many viewers do we have? 4. Guys, comment below and let me know if we should do. We're considering offering a black Ekopel kit and potentially changing the way we do color mixing, where we would just add the pigment to your order and then you'd just mix in the color, and then you'd be able to use any kind of tints or any kind of color. Comment below colors that you think would be common in this practice, and I guess if we get 20 comments on this video on the stream before it ends, I'll give away 1 kit of Ekopel in any color that you guys are interested in. I think I'll say that like 5 more times. Alright, so now we're gonna let it rest. So letting it rest is literally just sitting there. It's gonna let some of the bubbles off gas, and then from there, any material that's risen to the top, we're gonna give it a quick 1-minute stir, and then we're just gonna bend the can and go ahead and pour it. Back in 1 second. So we're just letting the Ekopel sit and rest here, and after this we're just going to bend the can in half and we're just going to go ahead and pour it. We're going to start on the front side here, and we're just going to pour it right around the 3 walls. As it runs down, we'll use the foam roller to push it back up the wall, level it all out, and scoop up the extra. And while we do that, I'm going to order my lunch. 4 hours of this, going to be quite a while. But I'm up for the challenge if you guys are. Alright. Ordering DoorDash while on YouTube Live. It's a pretty good way to level out the day here. Stirring more material. I don't know if you guys are seeing it here, but we're in the middle of a super heat wave. But we have the AC on in here to make sure we're at 75 degrees. Just so you guys know, it's like 90 something outside, but It's 75 in here, so move this over to the side here. I'm just gonna wipe out the tub one more time. Alright. This is a brand new tub, like I said, so everything's just gonna flow right down. We have started, aside from this stuff, we have started getting a good amount of calls from customers that don't want to do the process themselves and they want to, you know, hire a handyman or hire a service guy to do it. You know, if anybody is interested in that, the most common call we get right now that we don't have a strong referral for is in New York City. You know, people are charging $600 or so just to spray paint a tub. So with Ekopel, the best bet, you know, if you do a couple of them and you like the way the process works, like the product, you know, you can buy in bulk at a little bit of a discount, and you'll be able to offer the service. We'll, you know, we're happy to help add you to our website as a referral, and I'm sure customers can go straight to you to hire you for the service. All right, so now we're 5 minutes in. We're gonna give it another quick stir, and then we're gonna go ahead and pour the product. So we got a nice little stir there. Just gonna move the stick over the side here. Alright. Sorry for the delay there. Messed up my shoulder. Alright. So with the metal cans, you can bend it in half and then pour it from the top. We're going to be replacing these with a really cool update when we start the Made in the USA process, which is going to be, I guess we probably at this point have about a 6-month supply of material left from Europe. And then after that, we'll be in full production here in New Hampshire. So we're going to be, I guess I'll just do the big reveal. We're going to be putting them in burst pouches. So instead of mixing it by hand like that, you'll be swishing it back and forth with your hands. Obviously, we'll do a great breakdown video of how to do that, but that's what we'll be looking for in about 6 months. So kind of cool update. All right, so I like to stand up. You can stand in the tub as long as you wipe the spot off. I'm tall enough that I can reach across, but anybody shorter out there, you can just put a paper towel in the center and just step on the paper towel. But basically just pour the material on the edge here and let it do its work. So not a crazy process here. You just pour it right down and you'll see the miracles unfold. So don't worry about what it looks like until the end. But for now, once we get that portion complete, we can go and start scooping it up. So we'll take the foam roller and just push the material right up the wall. That's all we have to do here. And we're just gonna drag the excess with a little bit of force. You don't have to go crazy and push it a bunch. But that's all we're doing is breaking surface tension and pushing it around. Another thing that's important is to lay the roller lightly on the top after you get it wet like that and just drag the excess. As you can see, when I do that, you'll see like a whole wave of material coming with it. You want to do this lightly. You're not doing this with heavy pressure or anything, but you see the wave that it leaves behind. This is pulling all the excess down, so this is preventing you from getting drips at the end of the process or anything like that. So make sure you get this excess out of here, or else at the end you could see little drip marks and stuff coming down. Push it around a little bit here, couple back and forths. Don't leave any big puddled areas, and it'll level itself right back out. Same thing on this side. We're just pulling the material from the wall lightly and just letting it roll out. So from here, we'll push some excess towards the back, and I'm just filling in. I don't think you can see this part, but I'm just pushing it up the wall just like this. So I'm just going and breaking the surface tension so that it can level itself out. I won't touch the wall again after this. This will be the last time that we touch the wall in this entire process. Any drips or anything in here, they'll all run all the way to the bottom and they'll all level themselves out. The key to Ekopel is working somewhat quickly and then just letting the Ekopel level itself out and do the work for you. If you keep touching it and touching it, every single time you touch the piece, it restarts the drips. It restarts leveling, and if you do it too late in the process, you won't have enough time to let it level itself back out, and that's when you start having bigger problems, where you get drip marks and stuff like that at the end. So right now, I'm just going to take the foam roller, I'm going to lay it outside on the front here, and I'm going to take my scooper and the can, and I'm going to scoop up the excess back into the can. I'm going to re-pour the inside wall, and then I'm going to do the same thing and pour the outside wall. So scooper, you just run it right along the bottom and just scoop up these big piles of material. As you can see, it scoops up quite a bit with this big wide surface area, but you can get as much as you can from the bottom. You don't really want to work it up the walls, you just want to scoop from the bottom, or the bottom corners and stuff. But you can get basically a third of the material from the kit, or even half of the material from the entire kit, scooped back in this process. So I have quite a bit now. I'm going to lean my scooper back on the outside again. I'm going to pour this front edge. I pour it like this because then I can still lean on the tub without hurting my back. I didn't have to pour the whole thing, there's still some in there, and I'll scoop it one more time after. But if you pour this whole edge, you have to lean over the top in order to work on the tub. Until you put material on there, you can still lean on the wall. So that's what I like to do instead of the alternative, which is to stand up and lean over the entire piece. Sometimes it can be a little bit more difficult to do it that way. So same thing as the other side. We're gonna push this top lip down, let it start dripping, and we're gonna take all this excess material on the inside and drag that around to the opposite side and start pushing that up the wall as well. So we're just going to break all the surface tension. We're making a separate video at the same time, just showing, we're going to edit it and use extra cameras so you can see this inside wall get coated as well. But right now, I'm dragging it across the whole bottom and then right up the inside wall. So I'm just going to break all the surface tension. Then I'm going to let the material accumulate a little bit more. I'm going to scoop the bottom one more time, and then from there I'm going to pour the outside front wall there. All right. So now I've got material on the entire inside of the unit, all covered nice and uniform. So now we're going to let it build up again for a couple more minutes. After that, we'll push it all to the back again. I'll scoop it once more, and then I'll pour the front, and then from there it'll be all set. I'm getting a phone call now. Oh. All right, thank you. Go ahead. Yep, cancel it, thank you. Sorry about that, guys. Lunch calls, you know. All right. But that gave us a little bit of time for the material to work its way down the wall. And from here, I said we'll apply some pressure, pull some of this extra material from the corners. I guess I usually scoop it in the back, but this time I'll scoop it towards the front, so hopefully you can see it a little bit better in this live shot here. So I'm just going to pull all the excess down to the front of the unit instead of the back. Like I said, I usually push it to the back, but for this video, I'll push it this way so you can see what I'm doing a little bit more here. So pull in that ruler again. Take my scooper, if I can, and that's a tough angle. Alright, so we scoop up all this excess. Alright, so that should be enough to pour the front. We won't need the scooper again until the end. Put that to the side. Now I'll just pour this whole front. Basically, you can just pour it right down the top and then work it right out. Why don't you turn the camera so they can see the front edge here.
You can see it pretty good. I can straighten it out if you want.
If you can see the whole drip edge, that's all I care about.
Oh yeah, you can see the whole thing.
Alright, so I'm going to purposely push this material out instead of into the tub. I'm going to push it out. So we'll get a good thick flow of Ekopel running straight outside. And there'll be a little bit left there, so you got to level that over that line as well. But most of this is getting pushed to the outside. It's going to run down pretty quickly here. And then from there, you can take it and just force down a little bit. You can force it down, then go side to side, and then that will leave a nice level finish. So I'm just going to force these drips down quick, and you'll see as I go. Now I'm going to go side to side, the same thing. Medium pressure, side to side. And if you focus on this, if you can see the whole front, like we said there, you'll see it's all very wavy. wavy when you do this, but you'll see that we'll leave it alone, and when we don't touch it at all, it will level itself out. This will be likely the last time I touch the front of this tub. So I've got the inside walls completely finished. I've got the top rail completely finished. And now I've got the outside edge also completely finished. So even though it's got these crazy long waves and stuff, it's all going to look perfect when it's all done. All right, now for the bottom, we'll go back to it. We lost a light here. I don't know if we can plug that back in or if it affected the video at all. But now we're going to take the material and we're just pushing it back in the center here just to cover those places that we scooped the excess out. Now we got those all covered. And just gonna get that light plugged back in so you can get the good view here. Alright, so just a couple light passes after that. And this is gonna level out. It's gonna keep running down the walls and keep moving for a while. So in the meantime, that's almost the entire process. So you can see the drip marks there coming down the front. If you look closely, you can see them all in here. And the inside walls, you can see, are completely covered. And yeah, you can see the drain as well. Once the outside levels out a little bit more, I'll probably move the camera view, because the only thing we'll be working on the rest of the way is the bottom of the inside. So right now I'm going to hit it with the heat gun just to pop any little air pockets. So this is a little bit loud and annoying, but not that bad, I guess. So I run it over lightly over the top, lightly over the rest of the tub. You can't really see. There's little air pockets in the bottom. You can't really see them, but they're there. And they're all getting popped right now. So we do this because another thing that happens in the mixing process with these air bubbles is if you add too much air by stirring too hard, the part B ends up separating from the part B in the air pocket, and then the inside of that little crater becomes oxidized and turns brown. So that's one of the origins of this. You gotta be careful with it. Alright. That's all with the heat gun for now. It's good to put a drop cloth or an extra piece of paper on the ground at this point, just to make sure you don't get any residue on the floor or anything like that. And to prevent it on this unit, I'm just going to fold this extra piece in, because we don't really need it anymore. I'll show you that part of the process. I'm just going to fold it in. But it's a pretty strong way to accent the way that everything's coming out and stuff. Alright. So let's take a little tour here, show you how everything's looking. On the inside of the tub, everything is leveled out pretty well already. Whoop, that could have been bad. Alright, so that's the inside of the tub, all leveled out. And we're 40 minutes in, including mixing, and the process is essentially over. Now it's making sure that you don't make a mess on the floor and making sure you don't make a mess in the drain. So you can't touch the wall. Like, I would suggest not touching the walls at all the rest of the way. Any of them, the inside, the outside, any of that. And then for the outside, yeah, no kidding. Unbelievable. Almost drop it like an idiot. All right, so for this other piece here, I'm just going to show you the outside of the tub. Wobbly for a second. All right, so for the outside, you can see it's still got these huge drip marks. Can you make that small? I'm just going to time lapse this area for like the next like 15 minutes or something while it levels out. So I'm just going to move the tripod over here so you guys can see this level out in live time over the next like 15-20 minutes. It looks like I missed a small spot there, so I'm just going to hit that with the roller real quick as well. Okay. So let's see that area for a few minutes. You'll see those huge drips start running away. I have to fix this spot that I missed. So basically, just going to drag the excess over here. And I will break the surface tension. I don't have to roll over it a million times. All these strips will level themselves out, but might as well just finish them off right here since they're already at the bottom. And then we'll leave the roller over there for when we fix the wall again. All right. Okay, let's see, what else do we got? So there's going to be a lot of long pauses like this, but you know, you want to be able to see it. I think that this video will be very informative to like fast forward through, and you'll be able, when it's complete, you can fast forward through it and you can see all of this. We have another camera that's set up right now that's going to time lapse everything, and we're going to show a full on video with that. So we'll be able to see this in real time, as well as just a quick set of clips that just will show you, you know, exactly what happens. But if you don't believe me, then this is going to be the 6-hour proof that's completely unedited, so, or whatever it takes, 4 to 6 hours. Soon, in the next 10 minutes, I'll scoop the drain off, and you can see how quickly it just runs right back onto the drain while it's soaking wet like this. All right. Now let's see what we can see in this video. So it's still running down pretty good. I'm gonna put it back at that diagonal angle, and I think I'll scoop the drain now so you guys can kind of see how that's working. I'll cut back to this in a few minutes. You can still see there's still some big drips in there, but as you get to the sides and stuff, it's already leveled out in most of it. But that will be 100% leveled out when it's all said and done. So just give me another minute here. Let me raise the legs up on this. And then, like I said, I'll scoop the drain. As part of this video, we're shooting it 3 different ways so that we can show you a full breakdown of how to do the drain as well. So it'll be, you know, a 2-minute, 5-minute video or something that we show the actual drain only like repair, but frankly the rest of the tub looks pretty good right now, so we don't really need to show too much of that part. You've already seen it. Let's see if I can find a way to show you what just the drain looks like. There we go. It's not too bad. So the rest of the tub's pretty leveled out at this point. Again, we're only 45 minutes in, so it seems like this is a great time to scoop it off. Let me, I'm gonna grab a spoon. That's usually what I use to scoop off the drain area. So basically all you really need is a plastic spoon and a paper towel. A couple paper towels, I guess, but plastic spoon and a paper towel, you'll be able to see how most of this works. You can either take the Ekopel can, you can take the can, you can take the cover, you could take like a solo cup or a plastic cup. Any of that would be fine to scoop it into, but this time I'll use this can, and then after that I'll probably start using a cup. But basically I just reach in there with a spoon and scrape it off into a pile. Doesn't matter if you go too far because it'll fill itself back in, as you'll see, but you can just scoop that excess right in there, and eventually when you do this it will stop flooding onto the drain area. But like I said, that's a good 4 to 6 hours from now. There's not even that much on the drain right now. I'm gonna set this aside, and I'm gonna take the paper towel and I'll just wipe the circle with it real quick. So if I wipe that off, I wipe the drain completely off. Peeled a piece of tape too. I'll have to fix that. That comes from taping it properly, which obviously we have trouble with today. Excellent. And this is why we do it live. You can see any kind of dumb mess up. So it doesn't matter if the material gets onto the, if it gets onto the drain a little bit at all. You can still wipe it off at the end, but I'm literally trying to show you how to wipe the excess off. And I peeled the tape off a little bit, so goes to show you that even people that know what they're doing still have little errors and stuff once in a while. But again, you can wipe that blob off of there, and then I'm just going to throw an extra piece of tape and I'll show you how to wipe underneath it at the end. But again, I just wiped this and it's all still covered in material. So this thing will be completely covered top to bottom in just a few more minutes because it's way too early to pull the tape off. So I'm just gonna let that sit on there. Not even doing anything actually. That's alright. I'll wipe the drain at the end. So because we had errors with the sound and stuff, we're re-recording that other live video, but we ended up giving one kit away in the last one to Jason Waldron. He was a commenter from I think it was Tennessee, something like that. But anyways, we will do another one. Like I said, if we get to 10, yeah, we'll say 10 comments in this video before it's over from 10 different people. We'll give away another colored kit. Again, comment below what color you use. You can even say white. But the comments help us out. Hit the thumbs up button. Give us a like, we really appreciate it. So as you can see, the drain has been wiped about a minute or two ago, and now we're waiting on it to run right back over the top. So if this is what it would look like essentially if you pulled the tape off right now. It would be nice and clear, and now we're a minute in. In fact, if you really want to comment below on something good, comment on how much time you think it will take before the drain gets completely covered in Ekopel again, because it will happen. It will happen in another amount of time. I'm not positive exactly how long, but it will happen. Oh shoot, I didn't even bother with that part. So the front is also now 90% leveled out. There's still a couple of nice little drips over here if you can see them, but they're pretty leveled out. You should be able to see my reflection in there. I don't know if you can or not, but telltale sign of if it's nice and smooth. So again, this is 99% complete. You just have to be patient and pull the tape off later to finish it. But we're only at the 52-minute mark, and this is what causes the most headache to me is weeding out the rest of the process while the material runs towards the drain, which I'll get back to that so you can see how quickly it runs right up on there. But the front is almost completely level now, so it took a pretty short period of time for it to get on there. And now, yeah, you can see this is already, let me get a little closer here. It's already dripped back over the drain now. So if you had pulled the tape off, it's already on there, but in another few minutes, it'll cover the entire thing, I'm sure. So the video has been on for 54 minutes, including my talking. I started mixing it 47 minutes ago, so this has been done for about 15, and I felt like I was taking my complete time doing this. So pretty quick process, really. No smell, no nothing. So give us a thumbs up just for the eco-friendly part. Bum, 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 bum. Alright, so I did that at 50. So yeah, I'll do it on the 15s. I'll wipe that drain every 15 minutes the rest of the way, since the rest of the tub's complete. It looks perfect. Smooth and glossy everywhere. I mean, there's no complaint. And when we get to the 1 hour mark, I'll show you how to, you gotta re-level the bottom once more to prevent, I don't know, I guess you can see it a little bit. Let me see if I can zoom in here. I can change the view of the tub to this cool feature. That's fun, right? No? How about that one? That one's cool. Alright, no more playing around. Actually, what does that one do? Let's just go back to the normal. Alright, so the drain's starting to get covered, but I'll try to get a little closer, but I don't want to knock over the camera here. I don't know if you can see it good in the video, but from the material running down the wall, it becomes really thick along a ring around the edge. So it's all the excess running down. It pools up right there and leaves like a big wave. So you have to remember at like the hour and 15 mark, you want to pull that in and level it all back out. Otherwise, you're going to wind up leaving that drip there permanently.
Slightly funny.
Yeah, so let's see what we got here. Alright, so basically the long boring process of sitting here watching paint dry is what we're doing now. So anybody that's new and just jumping right in, we're showing the time, it's kind of a time lapse of the drain. So I wiped the drain off about 7 minutes ago, and here we are now, and the material's dripped halfway back over the tape line. So clearly this is not a good time to pull the tape off. The way I like to look at it is if you can wait 15 minutes and there's no material that's moved back onto that tape, then it's safe to say that you're good to pull it off of there. But if you pull it off too soon, you wind up pouring Ekopel down the drain. It's not ideal for anyone. So if you guys were watching in the beginning and wanted to see an update on the front, I'm gonna pull back here. I'll show you the front again. The front is now completely level. There's no more drips or anything on the floor, on the front there. There's a spot on the floor where I stepped on it though. Nice one. But as you can see, nice and level, nice and even. Same thing can be said for the insides. So like I said, at the 1 hour point, actually if I turn this just right, you can see the wave down the wall there, over in the back, right over there. It goes around the whole tub though. That's very common. It's all the material dripping down the wall, and it'll just stay there and cure as a hard pool if you don't re-level it out. So I like to wait an hour after I finished, and then I re-level the bottom. So I still got another 20 minutes or so. I still got another 20 minutes or half hour before I'm gonna level out the bottom, but wanted to give you an update of the whole tub. Let's take another look here. All the sides super shiny and smooth. I mean, you can see our lights in the background. You can see the whole square of the light. And this, I mean, if you watched the whole beginning, this is a pretty easy process for us. Same thing with the outside here. Everything's nice and smooth now. You can see the outline of, I don't know, I guess I'll put my handprint down there. Maybe you can see the outline. Without dropping the camera, preferably. Yeah, you can see my hands, full reflection in the tub there. So typically the way it goes with Ekopel, very shiny, very strong, no smell. So now let's get back to that drain, which is now completely broken through, and now it's going to cover the whole thing pretty quick. Probably be another 15-20 minutes, that whole drain would be covered. I seriously considered pouring some food coloring on the bottom of the tub so that you'd be able to see exactly how far it moves if I poured a couple drops in the center or in the back. But maybe next time I'll do something like that. This was a brand new tub, so I don't really want to pour colored food coloring on it and then have to go over that again in a week. But if I have to, I will. What did I do? Now I bent my camera. My camera stand. There we go. All fixed. Wow. So, yeah, this is the most boring part, so we'll keep losing visitors here, but, you know, this is a boring part of the process, but it's also very important. So, we've been looking at this drain for about 10 minutes now, and it's getting covered pretty quickly at this point. That's what the problem was. There we go. So the outside is completely smooth now. The top edges are completely smooth. The walls are completely smooth. We're waiting for that drain, as we've said a few times now. We're waiting for the drain to cure so we can pull the tape from the drain, and then the project's over at that point. The only other thing that needs to be done in this process is to drag those ridges. Actually, you can see it in this camera angle too, this ridge right along here. All of that needs to be dragged to the center. This whole ridge needs to get dragged into the center, and then the whole bottom has to get leveled one more time. I like to do that 45 minutes to an hour after I've finished the entire tub. So if we can cut that back and pull it in, then when it levels back down from further dripping, it'll also push out from the center portion back into it, and they merge. Then you don't have any you know, any dry edge there. We're still about 10 minutes from that, but I'll do that right after that. So that's the view there, and again, the rest of the tub is in great shape for anybody that's new and checking this out. We tore it down. We this is a brand new tub that we just mixed up the Ekopel and gave it a live pour on, unedited. So appreciate you guys all watching this stuff. When you're ready to order yours, you know, it's on Amazon. It's on refinishedbathsolutions.com. And you know, we have great customer service team. We like to answer any questions that come up, help with any repairs. But we're really trying to get back into the YouTube community, and we're really trying to make a bunch more videos on how to do small repairs and many other things. Blue tape peeled off the Ekopel and destroyed the finish. When did you put the tape on there? You put it on a week afterwards, or was it like you put it on in the next day or two? Because what happens is it's cured to the Ekopel gets cured to the touch and to the water 7 days after. What was the temperature that you did the unit at, or temperature around? That's really the only variant with it. It dries to the touch, dries to water, and you can use it after 24 to 36 hours depending on temp. 70s. Yeah. Well, it doesn't sound right, but it stays really soft. Like with this tub, if we wanted to pull off the entire finish, if we after like 24 hours, we can peel it right down. Solve the issue. Okay. Yeah, it's such a tough one. It's always such a pain dealing with that stuff. Yeah, no, it's a good warning because it's happened to us in sample ones as well. So we didn't really think of anything like that, but now we bought this new tub and we continue to pour them, but after 24 hours we'll go around and we actually put duct tape in the corners, and I put duct tape on it and I purposely rip it off, and I'm able to, while it's still soft, you can just pull it and rip it right off. It does. So yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that. Definitely don't put tape on it until it's fully hardened and it won't peel anymore. It does take a while cleaning the drain. Yeah, the drain is the worst. This is what prevented me from like when we offer projects to like we do nursing homes and we have other companies that do senior buildings, a bunch of residential places. To do a regular customer's home with Ekopel, you have to sit in their house and do nothing for 4 to 6 hours. To me, that's the hardest part of the process. I can't sit still. I do big productions. This is really hard for me, even just standing here looking at the drain. I could do 10 tubs in a day and then go back and pull the drain on all 10 of them, but it's harder for me to do just one. So, can you apply the non-slip at a date, later date? Yes. So we just did a non-slip video last week. The non-slip material can be added on the next day. It can be added on the next month or the next year. It doesn't matter. Ekopel will stick to itself and any other surface. Very strong. So all you have to do is follow that video, tape off the square. If you wait more than a day or two, I like to give it a quick hand sand with like 400 grit or 220 or 400 just to scuff up the surface and give yourself a good area to bond to. Actually, I said I was going to scoop that I guess I'll wait a little bit longer. Well, you know what? I said I'd scoop it every 15, so I'll scoop it again now. I'm just going to keep wiping that drain so you guys can see that that it's not just pooling there. It's actually, it just keeps running and running and running. So you don't want to pull it too early. So if I wipe it again here, and as you can see, I'm wiping it way back. It's not just the front edge. I'm going around and wiping into the actual tub itself. It still just sits on there, and it'll keep dripping right back until it all of a sudden coagulates a little bit, and that'll stop happening. So it's a new cleaned out area, and we'll see how long it takes to go now. I use the paint stir stick. What did you say? Let me see here. I use the paint stir stick to keep the drain clean. Yeah, that actually works good, especially if you don't want to bend over the whole time, scooping and scooping. Usually, so I don't, this is not the way I would do this. I would leave this for like 4 to 6 hours, and then I just take a plastic spoon and scoop off the excess. Great job, yeah. That's the hardest part of the process, really. is ending the drain nicely. If you're just patient and you wait a while until it's tightened up a bunch, like I said, I usually just sit there and leave it for like 4 hours, and then at that point I start scooping it with the spoon, like I'm doing right now. This is way too early to be messing with the drain, but I figured I'd show you that it keeps running over and over and over. So whenever you think that it's all set, it's not. And in 5 more minutes, I'm gonna re-level the bottom, and then I'll be done with everything except pulling the tape off of the drain, which will sit here until, we'll sit here as long as it takes. If it takes 4 hours, if it takes 6, it's like 75 in here, so it'll probably only take 3 or 4 hours, but it could take as long as 6, and I'm gonna sit here and keep scooping the drain the entire time until we get a perfect ending. Like I said, as you can see, the ridges are still there on the bottom from all the material dripping down the wall. So I'll be leveling that out in about 4 more minutes or so is when I'm gonna do that. Like I said, I like to do that later in the process, and then you only have to do it once. The same reason I like to just leave the drain alone and not mess with it. It looks like it's going to be fine right now, but if you look at it again in a half an hour, the material will have come over the top and dripped all over the drain again. So you just have to be patient. You have to you just have to wait for it with this. But we'll get there. There's going to be a lot of downtime in this video. We're about an hour in now, a little over an hour in, and that's what we've got. Yeah, I appreciate it. I can't wait. I think you talked to Barbara, about sending her a couple of pictures. We would love to post those before and afters and share it with everybody. I think you said you were 60, in your 60s, early 60s, and this is a project that anyone can do. I mean, I have a 5-year-old son that's poured our little mini sinks. Maybe I'll post one of the videos showing him do it. Little kids can do it. Not that it's recommended, but it's easy enough that a little kid can do it. It's easy enough that an older person can get in there and get it done. As long as you do it right and protect yourself. You don't want to be hunching over the tub, risking falling in there by mispouring it and spending a bunch of time overworking it. Let the material do its job. It's created specifically for this process, and literally, if you just let it do its job, that's what's going to happen. Yeah, the non-slip will help you out if it's a little too slippery. It's So we've run the slip meter over it. Maybe in my next video I'll run the slip meter over it again. But we use Ekopel non-slip in some hotels that have ADA requirements for non-slip traction. It's called I put myself on the spot. It's called I don't know. It's just a slip resistance amount. I can't remember the abbreviation for it, but anyways, we have requirements that we have to reach, and we do this in senior buildings, nursing homes. We do it in a bunch of videos. I'm sorry, in a bunch of buildings and stuff that have requirements. So we try to do everything that we can to make sure people are going to be safe and not have anything to worry about in the future. So material's not sharp, it's but it gives you a good grip on your feet and makes it so you can not worry about falling. So I'll give you guys one more little pan over the whole unit here. This has been done for about 30 minutes now. The only thing left to touch up is that wave on the ground. We have to re-level the bottom, and then we've got to work the drain area. But we did not touch the front again. It leveled itself out without touching it. If you watch through from the beginning, you can see there were tidal waves coming down the sides. But that's all nice now. Literally the only things left are to wait for that drain, which is going to take forever in video time, and I'm going to level that floor out in about another minute. So let me get the roller ready. I'm going to level out the floor again right now. Alright. So to level out the floor, all you need to do is take your foam roller again, and we're just going to pull the excess into the center. So we come up into the curve just a tiny bit, not much. We want to pull all the material from the drain area towards the back center a little bit. You want to get like 8 inches away from the drain, and just pull it lightly from the wall into the center. This is just going to spread out that rundown, and it will prevent having a big wave at the bottom at the end. So pull it all down into the center, just like so. You don't want to go too high up the wall, just right to the curve is all you need to do. Pull this excess right into the center, and then give it one light pass. Pulling it towards the back, just a couple light passes here, just to level everything right out. And it's going to leave plenty of room for this center piece that we just built. It will flow back into the outside pieces there. So we added a couple of little air pockets in there. So we're going to have to hit those one more time with the heat gun. And by hit those, I literally mean give it like 15 seconds with the heat gun, not long at all. And we get it nice and warm. I have it on the hottest setting. And just run this right over. Pop all the little air pockets. And then we'll be all set. Tough to see those on video, but you can see them at the end if you don't do it. So alright, so now the tub itself is complete. It's just a time game against the drain now. So I'm gonna wipe that off one more time since I just did that. And then it's going to be another, I'm going to start checking in every half an hour or every 20 minutes. I'm not just going to talk for 4 hours unless somebody wants me to. But I don't think there's much more to say about what's come out of this. So I'm just going to wipe that edge one more time. Show you guys that this will just keep flooding right over the back. Easier. Right. Cool. So everything's been hit. Now we're just waiting out that drain, like we said. Wipe it one more time just to get it a little bit more clean. So when the flood starts to come over it, you'll be able to see it completely. That's a little bit better. So not only am I wiping the drain off, I'm also wiping an inch further back, and it's still, it's still dripping right through that inch, right over the drain. I'll just pop this piece of tape off as well. So this is the time. As soon as we finish leveling it out, that's when I pull all the tape off from the surrounding portions and stuff. This tub's in the office, so it's a brand new tub and not really much do with it on that front. But I'm gonna do another live one at somebody's house, probably in the next week or two, and I'll show you how to wash it, how to tape it, all that stuff first, so that you guys have the knowledge of how to do that stuff with the new 2020 style first. Yeah, set. But I'll give you another quick pan through the whole thing. So now that the floor has been leveled out, the floor is nice and level now. The drain's still getting the flood coming at it. And then the top rails and the walls, both inside and out, are all complete and nice and leveled out. So I'm probably gonna just let the camera roll here for the next 20 minutes, half hour or so. But if you have any comments or questions, I'm happy to answer them. I'll keep looking at the chats. I really just wanted you guys to see that this is live. This is the entire process of the pour and the drain and stuff. So if you need a long reference and you really want to make sure you do it right, this is, you know, we could fall in, we could have something happen and we'd have to fix it. But live is definitely the way to go. So I'll be checking in another 20 minutes, half hour or so. Alright, we're still flowing along in there. I don't need to wipe it again right now. It's actually starting to set up a little bit faster than I thought it would. I might be able to pull that tape sooner than expected. So maybe after 2 hours on this one. I'm gonna go around real quick and just and smooth out the edges, and then I'll give it another 20 minutes, and from there I'll wipe the tape area again, and then after that I'm just gonna pull it probably. It looks like it's not flowing too heavy, so you can take your finger with a glove or by itself here and just fill in those missing spots. Ekopel, while it's wet, is you can wash it off your hands or whatever with soap and water. But again, everything else is done here, so I'm gonna give this like another 15 minutes. If it doesn't run back onto the drain even more, I'm just gonna pull the tape, and then we'll give it a half an hour after that to make sure I don't have to keep wiping it. And it looks like it's gonna be finished. So lucky us, we don't have to wait the further 4 to 6 hours today. That happened. It does keep. This one's a little different because the drain's raised up a tiny bit. Other tubs, the drains sunk in a little bit more, and they're a little bit smaller. So it all depends on how much material is left on the bottom, what the temperature is, how much it's going to keep running. So this is a good basis for this particular tub, but it's going to be anywhere. Normally it's anywhere from 4 to 6 hours is a safer bet instead of scoop, 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 scoop. Just wait. Give it at least 3 hours, but preferably 4. Then scoop it off, wipe it, and do what I'm about to do. I'll do that in about 20 minutes. 15-20 minutes if the material stops moving. If it keeps dripping back onto there, then we'll have to wait a little bit longer. So I'll be back shortly. Alright, let's see what we got here. Yeah, looks like we're pretty done level in here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and pull the tape. So typically, this is a little bit longer of a process, really more of a 4 to 6 hour. When we edit this, I'm probably gonna put the caption up there to say 4 to 6 hours. But in the meantime, we can pull the tape off of here. It looks like it's not going anywhere. I think the reason that it leveled out like this and it's not flowing onto the drain as frequently now is because this drain is actually raised up just a little bit. Just the way that it sat in there on this particular type of tub. It's a little higher than with other tubs. So the way to pull the tape off is either punch a hole in the center here, get it to peel up here. A little difficult with gloves. Oh. There we go. And as you can see, we got a little bit of residue on there. I'll pull this last portion of tape out of there. And this is the hardest part of the whole process. I'm gonna fold up the tissue, paper towel rather, and you can put it right up along the edge there. And once you got the tape off of the drain, it's a little easier to wipe the actual drain itself. Just have to, this is the hardest part on the back and stuff. You gotta make sure you don't touch the front of the tub, all while not making a huge mess inside of it. So a little difficult, but a lot of people have just chrome brass drains that have that center screw that covers them. So once you wipe that off, you can leave it like that, and the final portion would be to all you need to do after that is just screw the center screw drain cover over it, which would be a brand new finished cover. So, but there we go. A couple quick wipes and drain shiny and new again. So I'm gonna pull my gloves off here, and I'm gonna give you guys one more quick little walkthrough of the whole thing, and then I guess I'm gonna end it. So it came out pretty nice here. All right, so let's see what we got here. Actually, let me take this out. Just a second, guys. All right. So as you can see, the drain not covered anymore. If material was to run on there, we could just wipe it right off. But everything is shiny and smooth. Top rails, everything. We're 2 hours in. Again, this is normally, you want to give it a couple extra hours before you pull that tape off of the drain. Same thing with the floor. In this case, we didn't tape the floor because we just put it on a piece of cardboard. But right now, had we taped it, which I will show you in the next video, we would have pulled the tape off, and this all would come away as well. But as you can see, the front shiny and smooth. You can see the reflection of the roller and stuff on the ground there. Same thing up here, everything shiny and smooth. So anyways, this is how you do a tub with Ekopel in 2021. If you guys can drop a thumbs up on this, greatly appreciated. Helps YouTube know that We're making quality content. Comment below if you have any questions, comments. Again, we're really starting to get back into the YouTube swing. Ekopel is coming to the USA. It's going to be made here in the next within the next 6 months. As soon as our stockpile runs out, you'll get to see some cool new packaging updates. Some other big updates are on the horizon as well. And this tub specifically, we plan on shooting fireworks at it live and seeing what happens with that on Friday. So if you want to tune into another cool silly live video, we'll be shooting fireworks at this thing. And who knows, maybe it'll be durable enough to not get for I guess Roman candles is probably what we'll shoot at it. Who knows? Will it get singe marks? Will it turn out exactly perfect, shiny, and smooth like this? I don't know. We'll see. But appreciate you guys watching. Hit the thumbs up button. Comment below. Subscribe to the channel if you want to watch any of these silly videos where we start destroying these things. We plan on coating it and then bashing it with hammers, bashing it with shower heads, bowling balls, fireworks. It's going to be a ton of fun stuff. But more repair videos, more full videos, everything to come. So thank you guys for watching again, and have a great day.